Realistically, what's stopping us from world peace? Greed, stupidity, lack of empathy. Don't forget lust for power. Positions of authority attract individuals whose primary motivations are in direct conflict with the needs of the general population. What else can we expect from people who think of themselves first? Of course, they treat others inhumanely. Edit. I keep seeing the lust for power as just another word for greed. No, it's not. We all have seen someone at work who devotes all their energy into having power over her fellow workers, even though a worker position would have paid them more than their position of power. Because the lust for power is even stronger in that person than their greed is. Those kind of people flock to politics like moths to a flame, or flies to a rotting carcass. Now all we need is an infallible scientific method of identifying such candidates, and disqualifying them from running for office. A guy can dream. The golden rule: treat others the way you wish to be treated. At first, I never thought much about this rule until I started growing older. In today's world, it's easy to be mean. But to make a conscious decision to be nice speaks volume and has a ripple effect. The world is run by people who have no interest in peace or letting everyone else thrive. You're talking about the ultra-rich elites that have enough money to buy the government and make it function as their puppet. And let's cut the bullshit: lobbying is bribing, plain and simple. There's a reason why the gap between normal working class and these rich elites is increasing every day by millions while we're left fighting for scraps. Scarcity, whether real or perceived, only justification for tribalism is that it secures resources to be allocated amongst the tribe. Even if we somehow eradicated propaganda that make people believe in false scarcity, we'd still have to deal with artificial scarcity that is propped up by corrupt governments, corporations, and then too remains the real deal of finity in nature. This video explains the concept far better than I can, is almost entirely created by scarcity. Businesses, empires and thieves always fight to get more land, more power, more wealth. Without this inventive, most corruption, wealth disparity and poverty would disappear. In the future, perhaps the next 100 years, we will have machines that can disassemble materials at the atomic scale. Being able to take apart and rearrange atoms into new materials, you could change glass into wood, or vice versa. Imagine a world where you can manufacture anything for free, where everyone got what they wanted, all they have to do is ask. When everyone can make their own fuel, their own energy, their own food, then why bother to work? What can a business or government give you that you can't make yourself cheaper and faster? I don't know, it's easy to say, everyone is so selfish and has no empathy, and this is true to a degree. But the world is a very complex system. There will never be a solution where everyone can get what they want. And very likely some people getting what they want will mean others being deprived of what they want or need. Humans will always prioritize the needs of themselves and their group, whether that's their family, race, religion, etc. And there's nothing inherently wrong with that. It just doesn't work on such a large scale. At the scale human societies have grown to, it is impossible to avoid conflict. That being said, a lot of conflicts could be avoided if we started to prioritize well-being, peace and sustainability over money. PPL are always talking about greed being bad until they can't feed themselves anymore. There's NVR enough resources. Could you really call that greed though? Like you're gonna die, it ain't greedy to do what you need to live. Greed is rich people who are totally well off and still taking. Humans. Everyone wants, insert thing. There is only a finite amount of, insert thing, and everyone can't have it. Competition for, insert thing, ensues. The human nature of tribalism. This 100%. People will come up with who is not their team to compete against and dislike even if there is no reason to. It's too hardwired into our brains. Really, we'd need aliens to unite the world where it's our world versus them, for there to be any chance at this. Browse Reddit for 5 minutes. People just like that rise to power. Not enough Miss America contestants pursing their goals. 100% failure rate. Useless. War just makes certain people too much money. We live in a world where companies who manufacture military hardware can lobby a government. The fact that as a species we don't really believe in world peace. We say that we do, but we don't. I could write a hate comment about big companies and politicians, but we all do some or the other thing in our daily lives that takes us away from world peace. Even if it's just subtle favoritism towards someone. With large corporations and politics, it just gets magnified. Discrimination and greed, both. If you say you're a pacifist or anti-war, you often get ridiculed for being naive, even. And if you say you support the soldiers but not the military, you are roundly booed. I'll argue most people are pacifists by nature, but those who self-describe as pacifists tend to be more pro-apathy than they are pro-peace. In a simple-to-understand scenario, teachers don't like to deal with kids who rise up to their bullies because it causes them a lot of extra work and would rather that the kids shake hands right now and then. For the teacher, if the problem is not visible, the problem does not exist, therefore peace can be easily achieved by simply shaking hands. For the kid, this has happened often enough to think this will not be solved that way, therefore they prefer to eliminate the source of conflict entirely by standing up to them. Both methods are likely to bring peace, but one form of peace more likely to last. So who is the real pacifist between the two? The teacher who considers themselves a pacifist so long as they don't get to deal with the problem in front of them, or the kid who solves the problem entirely? We'd all have to agree on what that means first. This guy knows peace. You clever son of a bitch. Humans. They're fucking dumb. 0/10 do not recommend. One of my favorite movie quotes is in Men in Black Agent K. A person is smart. People are dumb, panicky, dangerous animals, and you know it. Human nature, sadly. I mean, there is war between ants as well, so I guess it's not that easy. Profit. 34th rule of acquisition. War is good for business. Yes, but what of Rule 35? Peace is good for business. See, it's easy to get them confused. Confusion is good for business. An unwritten rule. Greed and religion, in no particular order. Damn, had to scroll way too far down for religion. On an individual level it can be useful, but holy fuck has it been the cause of countless wars in the past as well as current day strife. Yes, but many of the religious wars of the last couple of centuries are really geopolitical tribal conflicts, where both sides just happen to have a different religion and use it as a banner. Human nature. I'd argue it to be animal nature in general then. The only thing different between humans and many animals is our intellect gives us the abilities to escalate intentions. If predators could use guns to hunt their prey, they probably would. If prey could use bombs to defend themselves, they probably would too.